Next question is any suggestions regarding a student who's twirling hair resulting in bald spots and also some replacement behavior? So I guess the question would be number one, do you know the function? I mean, I'm going to assume it's sensory. Oh, here we go. Mostly sensory because he does it by himself, but he's also doing it when he's concentrating on tasks. So
That'd still be sensory, I think.
yeah, it could
Yeah.
be. Okay, so I mean that, yeah, I mean that's concerning. Number one, does it interfere with anything? So he's twirling his hair. Is it interfering with his attention? Is it interfering with anything? No, you may want to let that go.
It's very common.
However, if it's resulting in bald spots and all of that kind of stuff, that can be difficult. Get a medical consult and just make sure that you know I guess is to get a medical consult to make sure it's nothing else, like that it is sensory, that it's not like, I don't know, something itchy or going on with his scalp. Let's assume, let's assume medical checks out fine. Let's assume, it's sensory, it's something cool. I don't know what his verbal ability is like, but if this kiddo's verbal ability is pretty high, you probably explain it to him using a contingency map. If you go into our drive under I think the contingency map is in the behavior section, and it's under like behavior treatments or something, and it's in there. But basically, it's like the top part of the contingency map is green, and the bottom part of the contingency map is red. So it's really like, okay, so if I do this, the green, the fun stuff happens. If I do this, this is what happens. So if he's verbal, yeah, so he's verbal, he's an adolescent, draw it out for him and say, listen, like when I twirl my hair, this is what happens. I get bald spots, it's not healthy for my hair may not grow back, whatever the doctor said. If I do this instead, then great things happen, right? Like my hair is healthy, I don't have to wear a hat, whatever else you can think of. So draw that out for him and try to explain that to him. The other thing you can do is, set up some specific situations, like even like a 5-minute work task, and explain it to him. Say, listen, like you're going to try this, and if you, keep your hands down during this task, then you can have access to this. So it's like a DRL. You're really reinforcing him keeping his hands down during tasks that he would typically twirl.
I would also think that there's usually a precursor. And so if it could either be, sometimes it's a private event, but there's sometimes some sort of behavior. The precursor could be presented with a task. It could be presented with, I don't know, an uncomfortable situation. It could be a thought, like him thinking like, this is hard, I don't want to do this, or I'm concentrating really hard. So trying to work with him on identifying what that precursor is, and then figuring out how to reinforce a replacement behavior at the precursor time. So as soon as he has a thought of this is hard, directing him to another. I mean, you'd have to work with him on this and get his buy-in, but having there be some sort of reinforcement for when he goes to, instead of going up to his head, he goes to, I don't know, whatever like alternative replacement you give him. Sometimes it's trying out a couple different ones, whether it's like the thought, like the function of like the pulling. So you might want to try something where he can pull, or it might be like, squeezing. So trying a bunch of different replacements and working with him on figuring out when he has that precursor, what's going to work instead.
Is he, I guess the other question is like, if he's verbal enough, could he tell you why he's doing that? So for instance, if he's just sitting there like this and he's doing, like, I'm assuming it's probably right around here. But if he's doing something like this, maybe just, blocking it with a ball cap so that he can't physically do that. And then giving him something else to do, like Shira said, but it has to be on him all the time because his hair is on him all the time. So if it's something that he forgot to bring with him during work time, you can't really replace it with that. If he does like the twirling sensation, then maybe having, I don't know, a necklace that he can twirl here instead. If he likes the pulling sensation, then maybe it's, I don't know, like some kind of like squeezy bracelet that he can pull, or like an elastic band or something like that. Yeah, you've got his hat on. Yeah, so something along that lines. Maybe sounds silly, but like maybe he wears a wig during work time at the beginning and he could twirl that, or it is something external that you direct it to and then you build that in. So maybe it's like some type of like plastic squeegee thing that he can just rub, and then eventually you fade that back, or you put it on a necklace or something like that.
I'd also ask for his buy-in, like making sure that he wants to target this,
Yeah.
because as we're doing this, I'm sitting here twirling a pencil. And I think if somebody would tell me to stop twirling my pencil, I would not care to listen. So figuring out what his buy-in is, maybe he doesn't, maybe it's oh, he does want it. He wants to, oh, so if he wants to work on this, then I think it should be a joint effort. If he doesn't want to work on it, and if he has, that level of ability to say no, thank you, then I think that that's valid.